demonstration planned here, so I'm going to actually stop sharing my screen for just a moment. And then I'm going to turn our camera on and make sure that we can see Ben. All right, so here's Ben, that corporate electronics manager I was talking about earlier. He's been so generously monitoring our chat. He's going to actually show you how to set up an ice point reference. Again, an ice point reference can be used to perform a quick verification of your temperature probes because the melting point of ice is the true reference that's going to be used for basically everything. That's what CJC is referencing or attempting to reference. So making a quick ice bath is actually, and it's defined by NIST. So when I say a quick ice bath, please do not discount the legitimacy of what an ice bath is. It is a NIST traceable reference point. So it is considered a physical constant at 0 degrees Celsius with an uncertainty of 0.01 degrees Celsius. So basically what Ben is going to show you, you can utilize if you ever didn't have confidence in your temperature sensor and you wanted to verify it. This is a quick way to kind of gain that confidence. So I'm going to let him kind of go through this here. Ben, do you want me to kind of just talk about the steps here as you do them?
Oh, no, that's okay. I think I can handle that. Like Steve said, the ice point is a constant that you can use in your lab to verify your probes. It has a few simple steps to be done correctly in order to follow NIST guidelines. And if you follow those, that is what will drive that uncertainty down to 0.01 degrees Celsius. If you don't follow these steps, there can be a little bit of additional variability in the ice point. And that's pretty much going to be due to the packing of the ice compared to water. So one of the main guidelines that NIST has for making an ice point reference is that your ice cubes need to be smaller than a gumdrop, which does have a little bit of variability, but basically you just want to make sure that the ice that you're using is not large cubes from a basic ice tray. Then in order to, where you want to start, you're going to put ice into a beaker to about 80% of your fill. You just want to fill that up. Then you're going to take your water and you're going to fill this up just about to the top of the water. And what this is doing is it's basically just filling in the gaps in between the ice. Really, you're wanting the temperature of the ice and less the water. The ice is the important part, obviously. So once you've filled it up with water to your level, then you're just going to take more ice and you're going to pack it on top. Try not to make as much of a mess as I am here. What this ice on top is doing is creating a bit of a buffer, and that allows the temperature to settle to that uncertainty of 0.01 degrees Celsius. So this ice out of here quickly. Then all you have to do from here is take some version of a rubber band or a clip to take your probe and hold it at the midpoint. This will take some time to settle, depending on the thermometer that you're using, whether it's an exposed probe or a RTD. It's going to vary what that reaction time is going to be. So you just are going to let it settle until there is no more variability in your temperature reading. One thing as well, you don't have to use a glass beaker like this. I used a clear vessel for demonstration purposes, but if this was something that you wanted to use in your facility for a long period of time, say you had a dozen or 30 probes that you wanted to check from a production line, You can use an insulated vessel as well. So imagine like a Yeti cup or something bigger that has a double wall insulation, and that'll allow you to keep your ice point for a longer period of time. If you want to keep that ice point for that longer period as well, all you have to do is, as the ice begins to melt, you're going to drain off a little bit of that water and repack the top of it so that there's that buffer back on the top. As long as it's not melting continuously and you have a lot of water on the bottom, this is a sound ice bath or ice point reference. You can see here that our thermometer is still slowly going down. If I had a recording, then I would kind of skip this step and show you the end result of when the temperature is actually settled. But that will take several minutes of us working at this thermometer. So does anybody have any questions about how to make an ice point? Any tips for suspending the, it really, that's going to be the biggest variance. The goal is to get the tip to the center of the ice point. So you can see here, I'm using a couple clips with a rubber band in the middle. Another one that we find useful when we're doing them in the lab is we'll take a ruler, like a wood ruler that has holes in the middle of it, or you could use a paint stick and drill holes in the middle of it, and that works well for setting on top of a bath or an ice point reference to hold up multiple probes if you have them.
The next question here is that salt water? What type of water is that?
Right now I'm actually using distilled water, but you can use distilled water or pretty much any water. You don't actually need to use any salt in the water. And you don't need to use distilled water either. You can use spring water or mineral water, whatever you can purchase a gallon of at the store is sufficient.
As long as your ice cubes are the size of a gumdrop, and that is scientifically, that is written in the definition. So we got a kick out of that when we were doing the research for this presentation as well. So it doesn't matter the water, but your ice cubes need to be the size of a gumdrop.